record. Check YouTube stats.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio. Guys, I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass because, guys, 30 years ago I was a dumbass, but through the grace of God, He saved my life. I am now a smart ass. So this book is designed to make everyone look at addiction a little differently. It doesn't have to be a disease, and it doesn't have to be forever. And you're not powerless. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're powerless over anything. Okay? Listen, I don't want to get into what went on the past year and a half, but everyone has struggled. Everyone's had a hard time. I'm also a recovery coach. I'm a nutritional health coach. My services to you are free. Please reach out and know that there's someone there willing to talk to you. You don't have to be alone through any of your struggles, okay? So I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Please reach out. My services to you are always free. So having said that, guys, I want to introduce Danny. Danny, properly introduce yourself. I don't want to ruin your name.
Hey, my name is Danny Zanelotti. I'm actually the director, one of the writers, along with Saskia Lynch, and the producer and one of the actors, and We Got Your Six. It's a short film.
Okay. Tell everyone what it's about.
Well, We Got Your Six follows 4 veterans as they embark on an experimental type of group counseling. Mainly deals with veteran suicide due to PTSD.
Okay. Why don't you introduce your crew with us today?
Absolutely. First off, we have Greg Washington. Besides being an awesome actor, he's an awesome friend and an awesome human being. He played one of the actors. He played one of the veterans. Who he's actually a U.S. Army combat medic veteran. And he was also nominated for Best Actor for his performance. Next, we have Eric, who runs Every Warrior Network, which is one of the 2 local nonprofit organizations that deal with veteran suicide due to PTSD. We have Rafe Carlson, who's one of the writers of the theme song that we got for the movie, excuse me. And then we have Emma Natalia, who's also one of the singer of the theme song for the movie.
Let's give a shout out to Paula.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much, Paula Ann, for setting this up with us. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paula. We love you.
So, Ruben, can you hear us? Ruben? Guys, do you hear me echoing? I think it's
right
not.
now.
Yes.
Just stop. You heard me echoing?
Yes, I heard an echo.
There's no echo
Okay.
here.
I think it just stopped. Great, Ruben. Ruben, do you have the song ready, or should we talk a few more minutes? Okay. All right, let's talk a few more minutes while Ruben
Absolutely.
gets the song. So all right. So why don't you tell everyone what prompted you to do this?
Well, I actually wrote this this short film last year, but I knew it was very painful to do, so I wasn't going to do anything with it. But then last February, I had 2 of my brothers that I served with both killed themselves 2 weeks from each other. Now, over the years, we've all lost, brothers and sisters due to suicide. And I hate to say this, but it almost becomes white noise. But when I had two of my brothers kill themselves 2 weeks from each other, the group is still mourning one when we had another. That's when I said, I got to do something. And as an actor, we have an obligation to tell a story and to inform people of certain situations and events going on. So that's when I decided that even though it was very difficult for me to do this movie, that's when I decided, okay, well, this is the movie we're going to do this year.
Okay. So, what's sad? I hear me echoing. Do you guys hear that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Ruben, I'm echoing a lot. Oh, wait. Okay. I think that's good. Sorry, guys. Tech issues. We had some problems in our town last night as well. So at least we're on. I was worried we weren't going to be able to be on either. Okay. So why don't, Greg, you tell us a little bit about you. Then we'll get to Eric. We'll start there, and then we'll talk to Rafe and Emma.
Hi, my name is Greg Washington. I've had the privilege and the honor to serve in the United States Army for 8 years. As I got out of the Army, I got into the film industry, which is similar to the Army, but softer people. And I've had the privilege of being a SAG actor for a number of years. I'm actually working on an M. Night Shyamalan produced film right now. So I am kind of looking at the door to make sure nobody's asking for me so that I can do this. But yeah, no, it's been a great opportunity to be a part of We Got Your Six. Danny has always given me the privilege to act at home, which is always great. So anytime he calls, I'm like, yeah, whatever it is, I'll do it. And he kind of told me the premise of the film, but I'll be honest, and I'm going to do this on the radio right now. I didn't read the script until the first read through. So we're all going through it, and I'm sitting there and I'm emotional. I'm trying to act, but I'm also like, oh my God, there's so much going on. These stories are so real, and we have brothers and sisters that have gone through this. And we get to the kind of, peak of the film, and Danny's like, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm saving everything for you guys when we start shooting. And so I was just like, well, now I'm invested. I want to see the rest of it. But I call him up, and I was like, man, this is sad. And so he was like, but it's going to be great. Just, wait till we get to this moment. It's going to be huge. But the joy of doing something that had to deal with PTSD and mental health awareness, especially over last year, you kind of mentioned that earlier, was incredible to be a part of, especially when it's something that hits home. Like I have so many brothers and sisters I've lost due to not getting the help they needed and, coming back broken and not finding those outlets to kind of rebuild themselves. So Danny, thank you for that opportunity.
Man, thank you for everything you've done. You were great, man. You were awesome in that.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Wow. So, okay. So, Eric.
Hey, how's it going? So my name is Eric Hoffman. I'm the vice president of Every Warrior Network. Excuse me, get choked up listening. I'm actually getting kind of thinking about some of the stuff that I saw on the video. I have no talent whatsoever. I'm not an actor, producer, director. Had nothing except a friend introduced me to Danny, and I want to say thanks for him giving us an opportunity to kind of join him. As what they outlined in that video that really stuck out to me is they tackled hard problems, and that's one of the things that our nonprofit based here in Louisiana really focuses on. There's a ton of veteran serving agencies out in the world. I tell everybody, I think the last study was 2018, and they did 45,000 veteran serving nonprofits in the world. The sad fact is probably 90% of them have good intentions, but they don't really follow through on the execution piece of it. And that's one of the things that we promised here, is that we were gonna act. We weren't just gonna observe. We weren't gonna count. Danny talks about it. Like there's the PTSD and suicide problem. Everybody knows the number. It's 22 a day. Noted. One of the things that we've said is raising awareness. Awareness without action is a waste of time. So we all know that number. So what are we going to do about it? So I got introduced to Danny because another local friend of mine, Doc, that runs Woody Home for Vets, Danny had talked to him and said, hey, I want to help local charities, but I only want to help the ones that are actually getting after the problem and doing something. So I was honored when I got the phone call to meet him here at a local diner, and I sit down and kind of talk about what we do. Our nonprofit at everywarrior.org is the website. We are kind of laser focused on the currently serving military member. Again, there's a ton of veterans administrations and agencies and groups out there that focus on people that have left the service and are kind of continuing on with their struggle or their life and finding new purpose. And we were afraid that the 19-year-old married a 19-year-old that shows up at a base they don't know anybody at would feel a bit left out. And we actually found some of that over that last year and a half you talked about. Isolation got crazy. People stayed on the base, limited themselves from work to dorm, and that's no life for anybody. So our nonprofit's really just kind of set up to connect and support and equip them to be the best that they can be and mobilize them to get out and make a difference. So it was really honorable and a real honor from Danny and the team to let us kind of come in and get a chance to view the video. And man, I was really moved by it. But thank you guys for the opportunity to be here.
Danny, what would you like to say to him?
I think what he's doing is an awesome job. He's kind of picking up where everybody else is leaving off, and you know, it's the VA. They do everything they can with what they got. The problem is they don't have much. So it's guys like this that they see the need and they step up, and a lot of times they put a lot of their own money into doing events and stuff like that. And I just want to say thank you very much, Eric, for everything you do, man.
Yeah, sure thing.
So I hear me echoing. I hate this. We're going to have Rafe and we're going to have Emma talk. So Rafe, I know you're at a gig right now and doing your thing. So you talk first because I actually got to interview you a while ago. So I think you're incredible. You know that. So tell us about the writing of the song.
Sure. Yeah, I was definitely excited when Paula reached out to me to work with Emma and write the song, because it's definitely a change of pace from obviously the type of stuff I'm used to writing, and it's not an easy writing prompt necessarily. So I was happy to accept the challenge, and I think that there's a lot of things you can learn about yourself when you're kind of put in a place to write a song that, you know, maybe isn't something that you'd hear on the radio, and maybe isn't the next big pop hit that people are gonna listen to drinking on a pontoon boat, but it's definitely you know, you're able to dig a little deeper, and I really appreciated that, and I definitely was moved when I watched the film for the first time. And so I think we really came up with a song that does what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't sound cheesy. And when you listen to the lyrics, you know, I think a lot of people have reached out to me and told me that they can relate to it. Veterans, you know, my next door neighbor is a veteran, and I played the short film and the song for him, and he actually cried. And so it's actually cool when you can have that impact on people, and with such a short time frame too. I think we did a really good job, and I'm really appreciative and grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it.
So before I have Danny speak to you, tell everyone, promote yourself, young man.
Sure.
Look into the camera, smile, let them see that pretty face, and promote yourself.
So my name's Rafe. It's R-A-F-E, and I'm a country rock singer, guitar player, vocalist. Been doing a lot of stuff down in Nashville, Tennessee, and so I'm going back down there on Monday. In and out of the studio a lot. I got a pretty solid team down there, and so I'm trying to run the whole circuit and do everything I can and do everything that we can to get in front of as many labels as possible and try to take that next step and make it a full-time thing.
Okay, beautiful. Danny, what would you like to say?
First off, I think you and Emma both did an awesome job on this. But Rafe, have you had an opportunity to see the movie yet?
I saw the short version. I don't know if there's a longer version than the one I saw. I think the one I saw was about 12, 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay. There
Very
is
cool.
going to be a longer version. Just to let you know, Jerry, that we're releasing a longer version on the 1st of November. This film festival that we got into, they are very strict about the time limit being 15 minutes. So we actually had to cut out a very important scene with the counselor meets the director of the hospital that we're going to add to the official version that will release on the 1st of November. But so what were your thoughts, and did you understand how much your song actually did play into the movie?
Yeah, I think the cool thing that I think set it apart a little bit is a lot of times you'll see these, whether what organization it is, Wounded Warrior, any of these veteran or military nonprofits or organizations that help veterans, they might have a soundtrack, but when you throw lyrics into the mix, that's when it gets, it can either get cheesy or it can get you kind of cringe watching it, because I think it can take away from the real message, because people get caught up in these cheesy kind of process sounding lyrics. And I think it's a tough task, but I think we made it, we dug a little bit deeper into the actual emotions that people feel, not so much the surface level, like narration of things that are happening, but more so the emotions and thoughts that are going through these people's heads when they're experiencing things. That's why I think it reached such a wide audience, and a lot of people felt like they were moved by it.
Yeah, well, I definitely was, and I think you guys did a great job. Thank you so much, sir.
So Ray, don't go anywhere yet. I'm gonna have Emma talk, and then after Emma speaks, then we're gonna play the song. Okay?
Cool. Sounds good.
So, hi, Emma.
Hi, so my name is Emma Natalia, and I live in Florida. I sung and co-wrote the song for this short film, We Got Your Six, and I would just really like to say thank you so much to Danny for reaching out to me and giving me the honor to really put myself into this and work with Rafe and just bring this together, I guess. It was really a surreal experience. Watching the movie the first time, I really was choked up, and I really felt different type of deep emotions that I didn't think that I really could feel from a short film like that. And it's really something that's very moving. And all I could really think about is how can I help these veterans, and yeah. So thank you so much, Danny.
You did an awesome job, girl.
So, Emma, tell everyone how they can reach out to you and give them your information.
So I'm a country pop singer-songwriter, and you can reach me through my Instagram or my Facebook under Emma Natalia Official.
Okay, cool. Danny, would you like any words?
Yeah, absolutely. Emma, you did an awesome job singing this. You really helped bring it to life. And you mentioned about getting choked up. I don't feel bad about that. Every time I had to watch the edits and stuff, I literally, what I had to do is I had to set a goal for myself about, okay, I'm not going to get choked up until 5 minutes into the movie or till 10 minutes, but I really got to give a shout out to the editor, Clint McCommon. He's the one that actually had about 40 hours of footage and watch it over and over and over. But I think you did an awesome job, and I hope you see, Emma, how the song really ties in to the movie. And I think you guys did a great job, and y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I think Ruben's ready to play the song.
Awesome.
Thought I could leave it all behind, pack my bags and go back home. These broken pictures in my mind, I'll take them with me when I go. Will you be the shoulder I can crown? Or will you help me make it through the dark? When I lose my way and my back's against the wall, when it all comes down, will you give me a place to fall? if I was bleeding on the ground, would you even lend a hand? Will you be the shoulder I can crown? Will you help me make it through the dark? When I lose my way and my back's against the wall, when it all comes down, will you give me a place to fall? I'm just tortured by the way you can make it through the day, but for me it really ain't the same. Until the good Lord I'll pray, please help me find a way. Will you be the shoulder I can crown? Will you help me make it through the dark? When I lose my way and my back's against the wall, when it all comes down, will you give me a place to fall? Will you give me a place to fall?
Beautiful.
It is.
Absolutely beautiful. So we've got about another probably 20 minutes so that you don't have to worry, Danny. So why don't we talk about everything you want to do now to promote this, whatever you need to get out, let's do that now. And you guys can join in as well if you want to.
To be honest with you, I think the first thing to mention is that this will be located on Vimeo, and it's going to be free to the public. I know a lot of filmmakers, they always try to monetize their projects. I just personally think that this is something that we need to get the word out. Right now, I know everyone says it's 22 a day. At my VFW meeting last month, they just released the most current number, which it went up. It's actually 22.7 veterans every day kill themselves. We have lost more veterans due to suicide from PTSD than we have in Vietnam, Panama, Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom, and Afghanistan combined. And the number just keeps on going. It keeps on continuing. And, you know, we just need to do whatever we can. The main thing I would like to really point out is call somebody, call anybody, you know, and in the movie and in the song, you know, you kind of notice that it's the veterans that really help each other more than the counselors. And that's something that, you know, call another veteran. You know, if you need to talk to someone that has been through the same thing as you, I get it. Talk to somebody, but rather than do something permanent, you know.
So I have a question. I'm not even sure you can answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do you think this goes on in our country?
Yeah, so a lot of it is the complete different world combat is, and then you got to come home and you have to adjust right then, right there. My last job before I became a police officer was I worked as a diplomatic bodyguard for State Department in Iraq for 5 years.
Okay.
And, you know, when I came home, I knew something was wrong because what I consider normal, civilians don't. For instance, if someone knocks on my door, I'm not expecting anybody. So I'm going to answer the door just like anybody else would, but I'm holding a gun behind that door. And it took being, you know, my friend saying, this is not normal. I'm like, why? Doesn't everybody do this? No. So and a lot of it, like with me, was when I came home from Desert Storm and when I came home from Iraqi Freedom, the counseling session for about 500 of us from Desert Storm lasted about 45 minutes. That they just literally fed you through. It didn't exist. I'm told nowadays it's better. From Iraqi Freedom, I don't remember any counseling sessions at all. But again, I'm told now it's better, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that we have people that they come back and they have problems dealing with things because it's just such an extreme change. There's a ringtone, it's called an alarm on an iPhone. It sounds exactly like the counter rocket and mortar alarm. And to this day, if I hear that, my ears perk up. I'm like, where's it coming from? So, and these are things that, you got to sit down and talk to people about and try and, bring yourself back to normal.
So you've done a lot of counseling?
Actually, no. I did reach out to the VA last year. I said, look, I do have some problems. They told me, okay, well, they want to make sure I wasn't going to immediately harm myself, and I wasn't. They told me download an app to measure my feelings, and that they would contact me back in 2 weeks, and they haven't called since. So I just have always relied on my brothers and sisters that, to talk to when I need someone to talk to.
Okay, good.
And
So-
I think if I
ahead.
could follow up on what Danny said, what he just said there,
Yep.
absolutely right. And in the movie, like, I think maybe the average audience member would see it and might miss it, but when like a veteran watches that movie and sees that case manager who is like flippantly going through Greg's resume and is like, oh yeah, this dude's had a lot of whatever, and it's just a sign out and a sign out. That, I think Danny did a fantastic job of capturing the fact that, a lot of times it's a statistic or a number, and you're not getting that, like, that one-on-one. Everything in the military has to be cookie cutter, has to fit the masses, which obviously is going to be, at the end of the day, a cookie cutter, it only fits one cookie. And after that, once you start trying to reuse it, you're either missing or you're chopping off an arm or a leg when you're trying to cut another cookie. It's not an ideal fit. And that's one of those things that Danny's exactly right. We are, at Every Warrior, again, I've said it, we are anti-raise awareness. But I'll tell you, one of the things that makes me upset is that no one's educated. If they want to call it raising awareness, it's okay. No one on this phone call, we're all veterans here, probably couldn't even tell you the 1-800 number to call to get help if you needed it. But for 10 years, my nonprofit and a few other groups have been fighting to make 988 the 911 for suicide hotline.
Oh.
That number is up and running, and it is like no one's told anybody. So one, if you're in the local area, if you're in the Barksdale, Shreveport, Bossier City area, don't call 988, call me, and I'm going to get you to a mental health counselor on our dime. That's one of the programs that we do. But if you are not local, or if you don't feel like I'm going to answer my phone in the middle of the night, but like Danny said, like Greg showed in the movie, they are going to answer and they're going to be there for you. But if you're not local and you don't know where to call, don't try to remember a 1-800 number or Google something. Just hit 988. Someone's going to answer. You're going to get a stupid recording, and eventually you'll get to a human. But like it's been said, if you want a real human, someone who's been there, someone who knows what you're feeling, you call a veteran bro or sis and you say, hey, dude, we say it all the time. It's okay to not be okay. Just not okay to stay that way. So just reach out and tell them I'm not doing good. Like I'm
What's
feeling
the
it right
number?
now.
What's the number?
It's simple, 988. That'll get you to the national hotline.
Oh, gotcha.
The-
Okay.
If you want something else, I'll tell you on every one of our, you said promote ourselves, on every one of our social medias, on our app and on our website, every single message button goes to one of the 5 volunteers that volunteer at this service, and we're here 24/7. So if you don't remember 988, but you can remember everywarrior.org, hit the messenger button, and I'm gonna hit you up. And if I got to come get you off a train track or take a gun out of your hand or get you somewhere, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do it that time. So
I have a question for you. Do a lot of the men that have served feel like they shouldn't be weak, where they would have to make a call? Is that a problem as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to dominate the time. I think Greg or one of you guys can talk about it, but man, the stigma against getting help
Right.
it's crushing. People think that by talking to a counselor that you're going to lose security clearance, they're going to disarm you, you're going to lose some sort of deployability, it's going to have career lasting impacts. First of all, if it does, who cares? Because you're still alive, and we move on to what Danny is showing you, what Greg is showing you, what Rafe is showing you, what Emma is showing you, is that your purpose is more than the uniform you're wearing. So at the end of the day, a lot of people assign their purpose to that uniform and they don't see beyond that piece. But even if you did, that happens in a small percentage of the cases. That's how our mental health referral system came up. People were scared to go on base because they didn't want it in their records. Okay, well, I get a discounted rate. I'll pay for it. You go find out. And it's like a gateway drug. You spend 3 hours with our counselor, every single one of them, 100% of the people that went off base referred back on base and now are seeking long-term care because they realize it's not that bad to talk to somebody about how you're feeling. But sorry, I jumped in on you, Greg. I think you had something to say.
So Greg, I want to talk to you a minute as well. So here's what I don't understand. And Danny, you can chime in as well. Greg, I don't understand this. Why isn't this just part of, once you get out of the service, it's a mandate that you have all these counseling sessions for a year?
It's not a mandate because, those programs cost money. The military
but wait, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. And I don't usually do this on shows, but here's the problem I have with that.
Yes, ma'am. That
these ladies and gentlemen are fighting for us, risking their lives. So guess what? That should be free to every single vet for 1 year. Everyone that comes out, free counseling.
I completely agree with you. I do believe everything will always go to the idea of you don't rise to your expectations, you always fall to your training. You were trained as a soldier to be a soldier. Once you get out, you are no longer a soldier, you're no longer property of the U.S. government. So it is very easy to forget that whatever you did in the military. And you have to rely on your brothers and your sisters that you were in arms with to pick up those pieces. I still have real big problems with compartmentalization. I could see something horrible happen and go, eh. And somebody's like, how do you do that? I'm like, survival mode, always. You always go back to your initial training. So I agree with you 100%. I do believe at least for a year, carry that person. If you have to carry them longer, carry them longer.
Right.
I lost a beautiful person in my life earlier this year to suicide. And he was a person that would profess that I'm just a positive person. I'm positive all the time, so good things always happen for me. He had a beaming smile. And was a statuesque human being, but still had things that people knew nothing about going on, and took his life.
So I had a family member, son in his early 30s, who committed suicide 2 months ago. Thank you. It's endless. I mean, you hear it every day and it just doesn't stop. And there's something we need to do to change things here. Danny, what else would you like to say? If you have to leave by 4:30, you've got a good solid 10 minutes. What else?
I want to touch on to what you said before, but why isn't it mandated? First off, I was my job in the Army. I was infantry. So that's the big tough guy. You gotta be tough. If you're weak, we don't want to work with you because you got to depend on each other in combat. They have to know that if they go down, I can pick them up and carry them with their gear on. So mental issues would be a sign of weakness. And when I was in, you would get your clearance taken away from you. If you said you needed help, mental health, you would get your clearance taken away from you. That may include being taken out of your job because if your job required a clearance. You were barred from reenlistment, you were barred from promotion, you were barred from any favorable action. And listen to this, a commander can consider taking personal leave as favorable action. So if you got a guy that has, and I've seen it, you had a guy that, said, hey, I need help. He gets all these, he's not allowed to take personal leave during like Christmas or anything like that. I agree with Greg and you that when you leave the military, it should be mandatory, not volunteer. It should be mandatory that you report and you talk to a counselor. If you want to talk about how your day went, tell them what you had for breakfast or what's really bothering you. But it should be mandatory for 1 year. I 100% agree with that. I think, Jerry, if we did that idea, I think we would start seeing that 22.7 going down to 21 and a 20 and a 19. And then we start seeing that, taking control. But just like Greg said, and I gave him the North and South on this, it's about money. And that's my honest opinion, is that they don't have the money for every soldier coming out of the military, every service member coming out of the military to pay for that counseling for a year. They just don't have it. In my opinion, I haven't looked at the budget for the military, but I just don't think they have it.
Okay, so I have a silly question then. Do they have a military counselor?
Yes, but it's never used. It's called mental health, and it's never used because
Okay, so
you're
that's
looking
the one that needs to be used because I'm sure they're being paid. They're on
Yes.
standby. So
Yes.
then we do have the money. We do have the person.
Mhm.
So why
And
isn't
I
it?
think, and Jerry, I think one of the things that makes that, I'm telling you, like, this is not just a love fest for Danny and the guys, what they're doing, but this is like, when a badass like Danny can show a little bit of vulnerability, that goes so much better than a massive sweeping program for the Department of Defense. Because we said this all the time in the 25 years I was in the Air Force, like I will drown in the sea of life preservers with you throwing resources at me. There's program after program after program, and they're all garbage, and no one cares because they're all massive ideas with no implementation. So when you see somebody like Danny who goes out there and says, you know what, I made this movie, I wrote it a year ago, and I can't do it because it hurts, and I can't do it because it hurts, and I can't do it, and then he said, I got to do it because whether I win a prize or not, whether I make this thing into a full length feature film, who knows? But if I do this, and if somebody, and it's not lip service, if one person sees this and says, hey man, I was there, then they know that, okay, I got it. And if out of that, maybe there's not the mandatory program, maybe there's not that counseling, but what it is a refresher. It's not raising awareness, because that's a cuss word to me. It is a reminder that my bro has my back. Our little nonprofit does all these little doing. We do events. I'm sitting in our free event space that we give away for birthday parties, because I shouldn't charge $300 an hour to have somebody have a promotion. We do all of these things for thousands and thousands and thousands of local vets. The group of us, we will not call each other or tell each other that anything worked until somebody calls and says, hey, the network worked today. And that's because somebody got a call saying, hey man, I'm not all right. And then we go and we become their, just that triage. And if it can't be done with a bro level counseling, can't be done with a surface level counseling, then it goes to a full on mental health counselor, and we'll cover the bill, just because it's that word of mouth thing that veterans have. When somebody says, hey man, you need to go watch We Got Your Six, people are going to go watch it. When people say, hey, you need to go check out Greg in this next movie because he's an Army vet and it's badass and it's going to be great, people are going to go watch that because they know that you've weeded the crap out, and now you're getting to the good stuff. And that's what I thought was really powerful about this movie, and kind of this phone call. You got guys here that are telling you that, yeah, we can implement, I can write a bill and mandate stuff for a year, but at the end of the day, people are going to go and check the box because the counselors are checking the box. It's people that really honestly care that make a difference.
Again, tell everyone how they can reach out to you. Give them that info again, Eric.
Oh yeah, sure. So we're on all the social medias. We've got the Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all that. We have a website that's updated every day, everywarrior.org. Or just the one way we've done it during the stupid COVID thing is we had to do everywarrior.org/app. You just download the app, and that way we can reach out to you. You've got access to talk to us immediately. And we put things like, we're going to put the song on there. We're going to promote Danny's video on this and kind of make it a resource so people can go and grab it. It's like a library of information so that they can watch it, because 365 days a year people have problems, and 24 hours a day someone needs somebody, and that is not business hours. So if they reach out and grab that video and they're watching We Got Your Six at 1 o'clock in the morning, if that churns juices and they need to call somebody on that same app, they're going to hit a button, and then my phone's going to ring, and we're going to be like, all right, where are you at? What do you need? Let's talk. Let's do this thing. So yeah, just check out the website, everywarrior.org. And again, thanks for the shameless plug.
Perfect. So
I'd like to add something to that if I can.
no, Danny, you're up next. You can
Okay,
close
cool.
the show. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So just touch on what Eric just said. At the film festival, I had veterans actually watch the movie, and after they were done, when they composed themselves, they reached out to me on Facebook Instant Messenger, just to let me know that, they said thank you for that, because you've shown me I still have issues I need to work through.
A lot of that too.
Yeah. And Greg did an awesome job too. And that's, this whole thing about if we can reach one vet, I don't want to reach one vet. I want to reach all the vets, because, they need to see this. That one vet's the one that might have been ready to come forward, but there's where you got that one ready to come forward. You got 9 that aren't ready to come forward, but they really need to come forward. Those are the ones that, you need to keep your eye on, that they're at the most risk. So that's why, I was really happy to hear that the movie's doing its job, that, it made people realize that, look, I'm not okay. I have some things that I need to work on, and they're working on that now, which we're being proactive rather than reactive. Again, like I said, we're going to have this on Vimeo. The movie's called We Got Your Six. It will be released on Vimeo on the 1st November. It's going to be free to the public. Eric, I'd love to put it on your app as well. And whatever resources we can get it out, just to get the word out that, it's no longer a sign of weakness to ask for help. It is a sign of strength. And, right. Step forward and just get the help that you deserve, that you need. You sit there, you go to combat, you get shot at, you get blown up with an IED, you survive multiple rocket and mortar attacks just to come home and take your own life. That makes no sense.
Well, I want to thank everyone being on this panel. I want to thank everyone involved in this, and I want to thank all our vets for their service. I want to thank our cops for their service. I want to thank everyone and anybody out there. We all know who our essential workers are. Okay, we all know that, but there's some that don't get what they need, the praises that they need. Well, sanitation workers, for example, let's give them a shout out as well. Okay, without them this year, imagine that. Okay, musicians, let's give them a shout out. They've had so much, what they've done, their home concerts from their living rooms to help these people that were homebound, right? I mean, beautiful. To the musicians, the singers, Emma, right? Rafe. I mean, think about that. Eric and Greg, I want to thank you both for being part of this as well and sharing what you've shared. Danny, what can I say? Another shout out to Paula Ann. Thank you, Paula Ann. She's amazing. She's always got everybody's back. But Danny, we got your 6. Let's do whatever we can do. You have my permission to post it anytime you want on my Facebook. We'll get this out there. So I appreciate you for today. I know everybody's on a little bit of a time frame here, and you all did everything possible to be here. So I thank you for that. So I want to thank everybody out there. So please subscribe to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. This is out there already on Facebook. Please share the show. We need to get this out there. Everyone needs to know about this documentary. We Got Your 6. Okay, so I want to thank everybody again. Danny, do you have any final words?
No, just thank you so much for having us on the show. And again, great shout out to Paula Ann, for setting this up, and thank everybody that was able to come.
Okay, Ruben, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.